What's going on, guys? It's Luke22SV here, and welcome to the 8th round of the career mode today here for the French Grand Prix of Season 3 off the back of a double non-score from Canada and to Monaco, and going to our least favourite track on the calendar. It's not looking too bright for us at the moment at a time in Red Bull. Currently down to 4th now in the championship behind our teammate Max Verstappen and both the McLarens. And before I get anywhere further into this video, I'd just like to honestly say that the upload studio for the Xbox is a massive letdown, and for the French race of this career mode and the Austrian Grand Prix, which is the next episode, I'm going to have to say a little disclaimer. They probably won't be the best quality videos in terms of editing, as you'll see in other videos. Not saying that they're particularly anything to write home about as well, but for sure in this video it's not going to be as good. And unfortunately that's just because the upload studio is a load of crap, really. And I'm just doing the best I can with the tools I've got. The videos from the French Grand Prix and the Austrian Grand Prix have been sort of there waiting to be edited for a while, but if you edit them after a few days of, within a few days of recording, I think it's a bit easier. Because I've left these for a little bit over time, I don't know what it is, but the upload studio really is not happy to edit them, and it's just a real pain in the arse to edit at the moment, and that's why this video is not really that well edited as it could be, but hopefully you enjoyed the video anyway, because it's just it was frustrating to edit this video together. It was just being really let down by the upload studio from the Xbox One. One day I will have a better editing software, probably being used on a computer or something rather than the Xbox, or maybe there'll be a better editing software on the next gen consoles, I hope. But at the moment I'm living in hope, and just gonna have to be putting up with this at the moment. And I'm gonna try and get career mode, the season 3, done before moving on to F1 2020 in July. Yeah, I hope. Well, hopefully I can be more consistent on from now on. That is the plan. Basically just trying to get videos back up to normal now, and then hopefully I can kick on and hopefully start to grow the channel again, because over the last couple of weeks and months I haven't really been doing as well as I could have with this channel, and I know that I will hopefully be able to improve it now. But without further ado, you just seen us the second attempt at qualifying there. We're going to be 11th on the grid for the French Grand Prix, in a car that should be probably 4th, 3rd, 5th, around that sort of area. But we move on into the race then, living in hope that this is going to be a good result and a good race. As we look onto the grid then for the French Grand Prix, and it's Lando Norris who actually gets a good qualifying lap for a change, alongside Lucas Weber in the Alfa Romeo. They're starting to come good now. Perez as well in the Racing Point, he's coming good. Verstappen in 4th, he can win this race today. Vettel ahead of Kvyat, who's done well. Gasly, Stroll in the top 10. Hamilton, myself in 10th. Butler will be disappointed with that penalty. Bottas ahead of Leclerc, who's going to be disappointed as well. Albon, Sainz, Russell a long way behind his teammate. Hulkenberg, Magnussen, Ricciardo a long way behind his teammate as well. And Giovinazzi rounds off the grid in the Renault. But now then, we come onto those 5 red lights to start this race then for the French Grand Prix of Season 3. As they're away now, we go immediately to cover off Devon Butler. He's our championship rival, one of them at least, as we head towards that first corner. And it's a poor decision almost. We lost several positions already. We dive into the first corner now, trying to outbrake a few cars, but Butler gets a better launch out of turn 2. We end up fighting Bottas on the outside, and now we're up into P11 again. As Butler's managed to get past us, but look at the gap we found on the outside here, going around the outside of Butler and Hamilton, and now we can get up into the points, up into P9 then, so making a good start. And then again looking to make a move on the outside on it looks like Danny Kvyat as well, and Lance Stroll, and up into P8, so a good start then. Well, immediately not a good start, but a good few corners then, which has allowed us to regain those positions, and up into P8 we go, and now chasing after Danny Kvyat for P7. A good start then, a start that we needed to make really after being on the back foot in qualifying, and hopefully we can show better race pace than we did in qualifying, because this is 100% my least favourite track on the calendar, probably up there with Abu Dhabi as well. Maybe it's because they're the 2 worst tracks on the calendar anyway, that I'm not very good at them, but it is what it is. We've got to put up with it, and going through down on the inside of Danny Kvyat into that, well, I don't even know what the name of the corner is, to be honest. But yeah, it's just a horrible, grotesque track. Honestly, if it got wiped off the calendar, I'd probably be happy. And I'm so glad it's actually been cancelled for the real life season. A blessing, really, along with another boring track, Monaco. But yeah, anyway, we crossed the line to end lap 1, and moving on to the end of lap 2, on to lap 3. And we're actually within DRS attack to Sebastian Vettel, so we're close enough to perhaps make a move. But there is a few cars following each other here, and potentially a chance to get through on these guys and maybe pick up a couple of positions. And yeah, so thankfully someone's actually holding these guys up. It looks like Sergio Perez. Then maybe he just put in a hell of a qualifying lap, and somehow his car probably should be up there as well. But you can see that, Toro Rosso as well doing very well. I think that's Pierre Gasly, ironically doing probably better in that Toro Rosso than he is in the Red Bull ever in his career mode. A little bit like real life, but we're trying to follow on, and we're sort of struggling in this Red Bull as well. As we've seen, we should be leading the championship at the moment if it wasn't for our crashing out in the lead of the Canadian Grand Prix, which is a mistake we could really ruin at the end of the season. But nonetheless, we've got to just get on with it now and hopefully outscore our rivals here. At the moment, though, it's just Devin Butler that's behind us. Lando Norris is going to be, well, looking like he's going to be gaining the most possible points out of this situation. And, it's quite rare, because Lando Norris has been the one that's sort of been picking up the points when everyone else has been messing up. But he's normally had pretty poor qualifying form. So if he gets his qualifying act together, he could be really a huge force to be reckoned with in the rest of the season. We're going to have to watch out for him, definitely. But at the moment, it looks like Devin Butler is the strongest out of our rivals. Verstappen as well, our teammate, he's had a few unlucky moments as well, a little bit of reliability problems, and he's just 2 positions ahead of us as well. So he's in this traffic jam, and hopefully we can get past Sebastian Vettel as well. But of course, Vettel's going to be getting DRS assistance as well. But there you can see Verstappen trying to move on Pierre Gasly here on the outside, and it looks like Verstappen's now managing to get past Gasly. And if that has worked, that's a very good move. But you can see those two going side by side through those few corners has slowed everyone down just behind him. Vettel's now going to be very interested. If Verstappen does now manage to get past Gasly, Vettel's looking interested on Gasly too. Can we get interested and get involved on this a little bit of action here? We look to the outside, Gasly almost covered that off. But there you can see Vettel going very slow on the apex. We can find a move around the outside, up into P6 we go, and Gasly and Verstappen still going wheel to wheel. As we follow on the exit of that chicane there, and now following on, is Gasly going to be able to get back past Verstappen? It looks like he's going to have to settle there for P5, and look at how much that slowed Gasly down. We dive down the inside of him now, and can we get past him into P5? Yes, we can. Up into P5 we go, and a fantastic move then, which has allowed us into P5. Gasly trying to fight off one Red Bull has end up losing position to another one, and unfortunately for him, he's down to P6. But the Red Bull should be in front of the Toro Rossos really, and up we go then. And now we can see a podium is definitely in sight at this stage in this race, and hopefully that can be something that we can materialise. And we've not been able to get close enough to Verstappen here, and he's actually looking very hungry in this race to get on that podium. You see, it looks like Weber and Perez as well ahead of us. So Verstappen going on the attack again. Can he get past Lucas Weber, a man who's trying to drag his car into this championship fight, but locking up, and that slowed us right down there. Verstappen all over him now. We're looking to get past Verstappen, all over Verstappen. This is going to be crucial if we can get past him here. This could, it looks like Weber's the one holding everyone up, so if we can get past Weber and Verstappen, we could be able to pull away perhaps from these guys. But look at that, Verstappen going to the inside of Weber. And you can see Gasly's on the inside of us as well. And we're going to have to go to the outside of Verstappen to get past him. And when it looked like Gasly was going to be able to get past us, we ended up getting past both Weber and Verstappen there. And what a move that was to get us up into P3. But Verstappen, though, is in P4. And so he's managed to get back past Weber as well. So Weber losing potentially 3 places in that one corner alone from 3 Red Bull cars. So there's just a massive amount of Red Bull just in his mirrors all of a sudden as he went onto the Mistral straight. And up into P3 we go, and Sergio Perez then our next target. Can we get towards him? Because, well, in fact, it looks like Weber had a problem because Perez has flown off into the distance almost as he actually pits. So we go wide, almost following him to the pits there as we come round then the last corner. That's going to put us really on the back foot, and Gasly's going to be interested in getting back past us again after that mistake into the last few corners of that lap. And Gasly gets past us then back into P1 as it looks like, I think it was Lando Norris in the lead of this race in the McLaren, ends up hitting. And now can we get repass Gasly, because we're not going to be happy with that. We just spent a few laps trying to get past him, and now he's managed to get past us with just a little mistake. But on the outside, we take the lead of this race then, and hopefully we can stay there until we pit at the end of this lap. But then our teammate getting the undercut on us, we're not going to be too happy with that one as we come into the pits. Oh, well, trying to come into the pits, we run a little bit wide and slowing down and speeding up again, and we've got a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane when we were just trying to slow down, and we accidentally sped up just a tiny amount, 41 mile an hour, 4 mile an hour over the speed limit. Yeah, a bit harsh, but I mean, rules are rules, and an unsafe release that would have been. But yeah, thankfully, Russell's car was ghosting, and yeah, but no, FIA took a blind eye to that one. We've already suffered enough in this pit lane as we come out then, and Verstappen has gone past us. So despite being a lead Red Bull at that stage, Verstappen has well, ended up pitting before us and getting out before us as well. So we're not too pleased with that, but I guess he got the first call. He had a better qualifying, he was having a better race really until that point. But now up into P7 and a 5-second penalty as well to take at the end of this race. So we've got to hope that we can, well, hopefully wherever we finish, we'll hope that we're 5 seconds ahead of the next car to keep that position, because otherwise we're going to lose a few positions here, and that's definitely not what we want. And especially in a race where we're under pressure a little bit, we're going to have to try and pull our finger out here and get a few good laps towards the end of this race. But at the moment, yeah, a lot of pressure then. We've got to put on a few good laps, and hopefully we can hopefully we can get a 5-second gap to the next car. Otherwise we could be could have another race where we don't pick up the points we should have. But anyway, we're going to be seeing who comes into the pits at the end of this lap, and then we will see where we are about in terms of the order, and whether we can pull out a 5-second gap to the next car behind, because that's what we're going to have to do at the moment on the track where I really don't perform well at. Well, yeah, we've just given ourselves an extremely hard task. So yeah, well, I guess we're going to have to see what we can do then as we come across the line. And who's going to be coming out of the pits then is going to be Pierre Gasly, who's he was actually just behind us when we came into the pit, so he almost got the overcut on us then. So yeah, really not going too well at this stage in this race, as we are in P5, and you can see that's definitely not a 5-second gap to Gasly as he's trying to get past us on the inside. I have to leave him a bit of room, but we turn in anyway now, and we got Gasly behind us then. And currently, I don't know what our net position is, but it's definitely not going to be P5. It'll probably be about P7 at the moment. And yeah, this is going horribly wrong at the moment in this season. We've had the race in Monaco where we DNF'd, we had the race in Canada where we DNF'd, and a race here where we're going to lose 5 seconds, maybe a few points as well. So we saw how badly the start of the season went last season. We don't want to repeat that this season. We really want to perform for the Red Bull, and hopefully we can have a championship before we move on to F1 2020, and definitely going to be hoping for more seasons of career mode. Definitely could do more than 3 next well, yeah, on the next F1 game at least. And I'm going to try and do a little mixture of things here and there I'll be talking about in the future, but I'm definitely excited for F1 2020, especially for the managerial career, and of course hopefully some more new features to the career mode itself. So very excited for that, and hopefully I can have a little good series on F1 2020. And but now we're going to have another car coming out of the pits. I think it's Charles Leclerc. Of course, you can see that red dot on the mini map there. He's coming out of the pits. So at the moment we're in P4, and that's not too bad. But ignore that corner cut there. That was quite blatant. We'll try not to do that again. We're just trying, I guess, to get any advantage towards Pierre Gasly at this stage in this race. And you can see in front of us, Sergio Perez is, well, we'd almost be in contention for a podium here at purple sector 1, despite that corner cut. But yeah, never mind, no worries. We'll carry on anyway. Ahead of us, we can see Sergio Perez. He's potential for a podium, but unfortunately, well, we have that 5-second penalty that we sillily got. I don't even know if that's a word, but anyway, we've got just 5 laps to go to try, or 4 laps to go, well, 4.5 laps to go to try and get a 5-second gap to Hamilton, who's in 5th. Verstappen and Perez going wheel to wheel, and Perez actually coming off better at the moment. So for whatever reason, well, actually they're still fighting each other, but Perez almost getting in front of Verstappen then. So we've got a 5-second gap we've got to get to Hamilton to secure P4 in this race. So hopefully we can do that. We'll have to see what the gap is to Hamilton coming across the next sector point, and then we'll see whether we are close enough to, well, whether we'll be close enough to actually pull away and be happy to take P4, because that's the best possible result we can get in this race is P4. And to make things better, there's rain in 10 to 15 minutes. Not that's irrelevant at all, because yeah, there is going to be there is no going to be racing in 15 minutes anyway, so what's the point in telling me that information? Thank you very much, engineer. But anyway, we've got 2 laps to go now, and we're chasing Sergio Perez for a podium finish, which would be if we hadn't picked up those 5-second penalty. And of course, you can just see down the line, you can see the race leader as well. So our pace actually has been quite good in this race. Unfortunately, that 5-second penalty has not helped us a lot. And at the moment, it's a 4.6 second gap to Hamilton. And you can see Sergio Perez is ahead of us. So we need to get past Perez to secure P4 at this point. And normally this would be a great opportunity to get a podium. But unfortunately, we got that 5-second penalty, of course. So we've just got a few tenths of a second to build over Hamilton. But at the moment, we're going to be losing time to Perez because of that penalty which we've got. And we're losing, well, just dirty air. And now we've got a 5-second gap to him. So we need to keep this gap. But of course, we've got Perez ahead of us, who's starting to slow us down a little. So this is going to be touch and go whether we can actually get onto the podium here. Well, get into P4 rather here. Or whether we're going to end up being P5. Because, oh my God, this is going to be very close indeed for the for the end of this race. But at the moment, this would be an awesome battle for the last lap for a place on the podium, but it's just not to be as we come around the last corner to start the last lap of this race. And can we get past Sergio Perez to actually, well, keep hold of P4? It's a bit of a weird situation, but we just hope that DRS is getting us a little bit closer to him. Again, 5.2 seconds is the gap to Hamilton as we cross the line to start the last lap, and we're losing a little bit of time here. So if we can get past him on the Mistral Straight, we can hopefully have a little decent gap, or decent enough gap to Hamilton in P5. So can we get past him here? Look how much we're getting slowed down by Perez. He's having a hell of a race though for Racing Point, and definitely will be putting himself in the shop window for sure. Perhaps for a mid-season move, or maybe in a season 4, which probably won't be happening. But here we go then. Can we get past Sergio Perez on the outside? Yes, we can for P3 at the moment. But can we keep P4? Look at that. A huge little bit of a tank slapper on the exit of that chicane. And just having to block off Sergio Perez as he moves to the outside to try and retake the position. I don't know why he's actually attacking us though. If he knew that we had a 5-second penalty, he would just let us go, right? And settle for P3. There's no way he's going to catch up to Verstappen on the last lap. So just stay behind us, Checo, and allow us to try and build that 5-second gap to Hamilton, will ya? And right now, just a few corners left in this race. Can we get that P3, P4? We've got P3, but we're going to be moving down to P4 or P5. And it hasn't been the most impressive lap, despite getting past Sergio Perez to come around the last corner of the race. And Lando Norris wins. Verstappen second. That's going to dent our championship even more. But the only solace is that we're going to see Devon Butler have a bad race, and it's P4. So I wonder what the gap was to Hamilton in the end. We'll have to have a look. But a fantastic race then for Sergio Perez. A good race for McLaren. They're going to continue to lead the constructors again. So myself and Verstappen have got to pull our finger out and really get back on top of that. But a good result for Sergio Perez as well in the Racing Point. I don't know where they are abouts in the championship. I think they're probably 6th now at the bare minimum. Stroll end up doing better than Weber, and Devon Butler only picked up 1 point, or 2 points. He got the fast lap of the race, but there you can see the gap to Hamilton was just half a second in the end, and Norris takes the lead of the championship ahead of Verstappen, ahead of Butler, and then myself just a further 5 points behind, 17 points off then in the driver standings, and Perez goes up to 10th. So a good result then. We are still in it by no means we're out of it, and Racing Point do go up to 6th in the end, and Toro Rosso down to 7th, Renault and Williams down to 7th, and Toro Rosso down to 8th. But anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed it today. I hope you like and subscribe, and I'll see you very soon for the Austrian Grand Prix, and look after you.